This is your weekly celestial report for the week beginning April 10th, 2023. So on Monday, we have the moon in the happy-go-lucky sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is very positive, it's very forward-looking, and very enthusiastic. So we're going to feel rather forward-looking and enthusiastic on Monday. And because it's the ninth house connection, it's about our ideals, our philosophies. We're feeling kind of restless. We want to come and go, be busy, and travel. And Sagittarius is all about expressing those opinions, not holding back, kind of gregarious, if you will. Yes, indeed. So, this is the day we're going to tell it like it is for sure. And it doesn't always hurt to be on the go. So, it's a busy day on Monday. We are feeling rather upbeat, and especially on this day, on Monday, the depositor of the moon is Jupiter. Yes, indeed. And Jupiter is conjoining the sun in Aries. So we are all about self-starting. It's about the me first, really getting out there, getting work done, and really moving ahead with projects and with a lot of energy. And by all means, the harder we work or the more energy we put out, the more positive we are, the more luck, prosperity, and good fortune we will get back. But because the depositor of Jupiter is the sun, that imbues with us with quite a bit of confidence. So we are feeling awfully zesty, we are self-assured, but this is all attracting good energy, kind of magnetizing good luck, good fortune, and all the good things. And it doesn't hurt to speak our mind, as aforementioned, either. And we also have the North Node in Taurus making a conjunction with Mercury, the communicator, and also Uranus in Taurus, and Venus almost into Gemini, however, still in the sign of Taurus. So there's pretty much a Taurus stellium here, if you will. So this is good. It's great for money because Taurus is connected with the third house. It's good for culinary efforts or anything connected with food. It is good about our values, our value system. And because the second house is connected with our speech, well, kind of like the Sagittarius connection with all this Taurus and the second house connection, we will be very focused on speaking our mind about what we value. So this only emphasizes on Monday, and for pretty much the rest of this week, we are really going to be very vocal. Yes, but we will have to be careful about what we say because it is Taurus. And we've got Uranus, the planet of the unexpected in Taurus. So what we say now could have consequences for the future. And the idea here is not to be too stubborn, narrow-minded, because that could create conflicts this week. We want to be more objective, more communicative, and wants Venus headlong into the sign of Gemini. Well, that's definitely going to open up communications for the rest of this week. And we've got Mars, the planet of action, in the sign, the home loving, protective, security oriented sign of Cancer. And that's making a bit of a wide trine to Saturn, the planet of karma and responsibility. So this week we are going to be very cautious about our actions. Maybe not so much our speech, but we will be very careful and plotting to some degree about what we want to plan ahead for, because there is a very responsible Saturn trine with Mars, the planet of action. So that's very positive about looking ahead to the future, our goals, and really mapping out what it is that we want to do. So let's look ahead to the next day, which is Tuesday, and that is April the 11th. And now we've got the moon void in Sagittarius, and that makes a square off with Neptune now at 26 degrees of Pisces. So anytime you've got the moon squaring off Neptune, it's always, or well, most likely about what? Deception, or feeling like there's information that you have to get to the bottom of, or kind of weave our way through some confusion. And that's what this is going to be about early on Tuesday morning. It's about really kind of figuring out what the facts are, getting to the bottom of information and possible deception. Yes, so that is first thing on Tuesday morning. And of course, Pluto is still at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and that's making a little bit of a distant square off with the North Node. And as always, the nodes are a very sensitive point. So with the South Node in Scorpio, the North Node in Taurus, and with Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius, that kind of lends for some touchiness here, because Pluto is the power planet and the nodes are about our sensitivities. Yes, indeed. So we may feel for some time now, as the nodes are slowly but surely reversing, we may feel like we are feeling a little touchy, defensive, maybe a little over the top sensitive right now. And this may be because we're talking the connection with Pluto. Pluto's about power, our personal power. So maybe we're feeling a little insecure at the moment. And the Pluto North Node, South Node, T square is kind of setting us off. So we must not this week let our insecurities get the best of us and become defensive or touchy, combative a bit because of that T square with the nodes and Pluto. However, also there is a sweet trine with the South Node in Scorpio and Saturn, and a grand trine if you want to add Mars in there with the nodes, of course, with Saturn. So this is good. So where there's a T square, there's also the sweet grand water trine. So where we are sensitive, we will also have compassion about ourselves and maybe kind of understand another's point of view and become more sensitive this week. It's also good with this grand trine regarding healing, especially because the South Node in Scorpio, Saturn in Pisces, and Mars, the planet of action, are in water signs. So this is a good week for checking up on anything medical, alternative, holistic, also regarding healing, psychological, physical, you name it. This is the week for that. And of course, look at that, an exact conjunction on Tuesday, which is very positive, somewhat like on Monday, and especially in the morning hours before the moon transitions into Capricorn, while it's still in the sign of Sagittarius, and Jupiter is the depositor. So starting off on Tuesday, the theme, like on Monday, we're feeling very forward looking. We are very outspoken, very daring, a little bit philosophy oriented. And with Jupiter, it's all about me first and our confidence. This is a good time to really put your best foot forward, maybe change up your appearance, start any kind of projects, you name it. Monday and early Tuesday are really what that's about. Yes, and now we've got, oh yes, on Tuesday, Venus is now in the chatty sign, restless sign of Gemini, and that makes a sweet connection trine to the powerhouse Pluto. So we are feeling no matter what we want to say and we want to communicate, it will have a very strong effect on those around us. So this is very positive indeed. So let's look ahead to the middle of the week, which is on April the 12th. Yes, and now the moon is in Capricorn, very serious Capricorn, but its depositor is Saturn in Pisces. And remember, Saturn makes that sweet, grand water trine between Mars, South Node, and Saturn. So we're getting work done. On Wednesday, it's about responsibility. Moon's in Capricorn, but it's also about healing. Wednesday is a good day for anything medical, psychological, or just a personal healing. It's really a good time to be very communicative about what's on our mind, and especially since we've got Venus, the planet of love and affection, in the sign of Gemini. Yes. And we still have this Taurus stellium now, and Mercury is inching ever so close to the planet of the unexpected, unpredictable Uranus. And so that could lend for some very unique conversations or discussions, communications that may be either very creative or discussions about originality, creativity, and the like, or with Mercury applying the conjunction with Uranus, there could also be unexpected conflicts, especially because both Mercury and Uranus are in the sign of the bully Taurus. So this is a time, as aforementioned on Monday, we want to be more open-minded, not so closed-minded. We want to open up communications with each other, but I am under the impression here as we move forward into the week, as Mercury applies a closer conjunction to unusual Uranus, that there could be some breaks put on with our conversations, with our discussion. But at least on Wednesday, there is a sweet trine between Mercury, the communicator, and Uranus, the unexpected, the unusual, and the moon in Capricorn. So that's extremely positive. It's very grounding, very solid, and very likely on Wednesday because of this Earth emphasis between the moon in Capricorn, North Node, Mercury, and Uranus, and even a little bit of the early degree of Pluto and Aquarius. There may be some news about the economy, real estate, investments that may be, well, rather positive or, yes, somewhat questionable because we do have the moon applying a square off to that happy-go-lucky Jupiter and the Sun conjunction on Wednesday. So be prepared for some either economic, real estate, investing, yes, banking, financial, money news on Wednesday. But with this emphasize with Earth and in the sign of Taurus, which is the second house and money, and Capricorn, which is about power, it's about structure, the powers that be, responsibility, and karma. There could be, as aforementioned, some questionable activity coming up on Wednesday regarding the powers that be, people that are VIPs, very important persons, those that are in control, and or companies, corporations, government that are in control. And this may have something to do with what? With excess, overspending, or an overabundance or missteps connected with money. Why? Because we have the moon in very serious minded, responsible Capricorn applying this square off to prosperous Jupiter with the sun. So anytime we have that square off, and especially with Jupiter here, we personally will also have to be cautious of overspending, kind of really not watching the wallet, so to speak, because Jupiter, and especially with the sun, gives us a strong sense of confidence. Like nothing can go wrong. And we are really taking a lot of action towards our future right now, towards our goals with the Jupiter and Sun connection, really feeling good about ourselves. And the moon in Capricorn kind of gives us a reality check on Wednesday, kind of brings us right down to earth, either because of past efforts with overspending, or we may find that we have overdone it with the budget as far as our money is concerned. So be very cautious financially on Wednesday. But as far as a more worldwide connection with the moon and the collective, yes, there's going to be news either Wednesday and or Thursday regarding an overspending or an issue with the powers that be and money, real estate, and so on and so forth. So let's look ahead to the next day, which is Thursday. And on Thursday, we've got the moon void in Capricorn and applying a conjunction with powerhouse Pluto in what? Aquarius. So, although later on in the day the moon will headlong into the sign of Aquarius, it is making an out of sign conjunction with Pluto. So, kind of like on Wednesday, there's going to be especially Uh, the morning of Thursday issues with what? Powers that be and the collective. So this leads me to believe that whatever occurs on Wednesday will spill over to likely Thursday. There may be missteps regarding those that are in power, and somehow this affects the collective, the people. And this may be important because there's going to be a lot of vocalization from the collective about whatever occurred on Wednesday with money, finance, misuse of power, and so on. Because Aquarius is about the collective, it is about our humanity, our unity, if you will. So there's going to be an issue to solve or correct regarding those that are in charge. Yes. And earlier, I must say, on Wednesday, when the moon was in the earlier degrees of Capricorn, there was also an opposition with Mars. So that's kind of like a double-edged sword on Wednesday. The opposition seeks to help. We want to help each other. We may have pertinent information that helps us with our goals, our ambitions, and so on. People helping each other, that's great about the opposition, but it is also that it is about opposing. And so on Wednesday, backtracking a little bit here, when the moon is in Capricorn and opposing Mars in Cancer, that day we will also have to be a little bit leery of not being too aggressive or also being a little bit too touchy, almost like that connection with the nodes earlier in the week. It's a very sensitive connection with the moon opposing, especially sensitive Cancer Mars. So, yes, Wednesday, that is the day, as well as Thursday, to some degree, the days to highlight. It's a time we don't want to be overly sensitive, but we don't want to be insensitive as well to others' needs. And now we've got Venus, the planet of love and affection, moving along in the sign of Gemini, still making a connection, a trine to Pluto. So that's good. That's a positive here, especially with this connection with the moon and Pluto. Maybe we may feel that we are losing a little control ourselves on Thursday. And so this out of sign trine with the moon and then with Pluto is going to help us regain a little bit more of our confidence. And now we just want to talk things out. Yes, and we do have Venus squaring off Saturn. So even though Saturn is feeling overall rather responsible right now, especially with that trine to the South Node, and now a very wide trine to Mars. And we just want to talk, we want to heal, we want to figure things out. And there's a sextile to the South Node. We are feeling on Thursday, however, a little bit more introspective because of this square off between Venus and Saturn. However, also because Venus is the planet of love and affection, for most of this week and starting on Wednesday, because of this square off, we may feel like we've got to really figure out some of the issues with love and affection and what is going on with relationships. And that's not just love relationships, it could be family relationships, love relationships, work relationships, any and every kind of relationship, because Saturn in emotional Pisces kind of puts a little bit of a damper on Venus and chatty Gemini. So this week, we've got to just kind of figure out how we can make relationships work. And we're going to move on to the next day, which is officially the weekend. That's April 14th. And now, yes, the moon is officially in Aquarius. So we're feeling a little bit more philosophical. We're feeling not quite as emotional as the issues have become over the last 2 days between Wednesday and Thursday. With the moon in Aquarius, we're feeling a little bit more detached, and it's about connecting with friends or our creativity, our ambitions, the future, anything to do with tech, whether it's computers, social media, social anything. And that's what the start of the weekend is going to be about. Yes, we are feeling rather connective, communicative, and especially with this emphasis with Venus in the sign of Gemini. So the moon is past that connection, that trine with Venus. However, Venus is still in Gemini, and that kind of lends for a little bit more logic and more rationale than emotion, which is good because Wednesday and Thursday could become more drama or emotional or more introspective. The start of the weekend is more about logic and detachment. So that's very positive. And with the moon in Aquarius, it is applying a sweet sextile to happy-go-lucky Jupiter and the sun on Friday. So that's really good for our confidence. And not only that, it's really good for connecting with each other, really bouncing off ideas with each other and not getting too drama, not getting too attached, and kind of getting some kind of creative ideas being bounced around, really connecting with each other vocally, especially with that Venus and Gemini. And this is good. So if the rest of the week earlier on the week has been kind of questionable, come Friday, there's this sense of really wanting to relate. But we cannot negate the fact that, yes, indeed. There is that square off with Mercury, the communicator, and Uranus in Taurus. And so, with the moon square Uranus, which is very close to the Earth, all about our sensibilities, our practicality. Yes, on Friday or around Friday, Thursday night, Saturday morning, there could be some rather large Earth connections, Earth weather related anomalies, volcanoes, earthquakes, and the like. So that's another issue we may have to be on the lookout for on Friday. Some earthquakes, weather related, but on the more mundane home front here, with all this good feeling energy on Friday, especially between the moon and sunny, happy-go-lucky, fortunate Jupiter, and all this real sense of relating to each other in our relations, kind of like it was on Monday. We will have to be cautious of not being so stubborn, especially since Aquarius and Taurus are fixed signs, that we do not see each other's point of view. And this is very important with Mercury and Uranus and the moon in Aquarius, especially connected with Mercury in the mix here, because that's all about how we communicate with each other. And in this case, what? What are we possibly opposed or squaring off to each other about? But what? Our ideals, our principles, our humanity. So on Friday, on one hand, we're feeling rather connected, but on the other hand, there may be an issue that started on Wednesday, connected with the powers that be, those in charge that will really set us off on Friday. On one hand, it may unite us, but on the other hand, whatever issue about our principles and about our opinions, our humanity, we are really going to be quite vocal. Yes, indeed. And so we are going to look ahead to the following day, which is Saturday. And now this is April the 15th, and the moon is moving along in the sign of Aquarius and applying a conjunction to sweet and sour Saturn in Pisces later on the day, early on Saturday. So it's back to work. Yes, on Saturday. We are feeling rather serious, but it seems, as mentioned, from Wednesday on, there is some kind of a highlighted event or events that's really going to grab our attention. And we will feel a little bit defensive, yet at the same time, we are going to want to connect with each other, unify our beliefs, possibly because something uncertain with the powers that be. But come late Saturday and into Sunday, we feel the need to kind of get back to work, really get our feet on the ground, and it's about what? It is about healing. So come later on Saturday into Sunday, we really are kind of getting over it all and feeling like we really need to do some soul searching, especially once the moon goes into Pisces. We really need to take a look at whatever has been going on in our lives that really kind of has gotten things out of balance, if you will, and we need to kind of regain the balance, regain some of that healing over the rest of this weekend. So there's going to become a more Piscean emphasis mid Saturday and on Sunday. And very slowly but surely, the moon is applying a square off to Venus. And Venus loves the niceties of life. And Venus is all about, yes, love and affection, but sometimes Venus, kind of like Pisces, can kind of over idealize love and affection or feelings and so on. And Venus likes the material and the good things of life. And now we've got the moon applying a square off with Venus here within about a day. So that may mean that because we're feeling a little bit uncertain on Saturday and Sunday, well, that may bring us back to that topic of overspending on Saturday. Maybe we feel like because we're feeling so restless and we want to communicate, yet we feel we've got to really go within, that we may be doing some kind of stress buying or going a little bit overboard with the pocketbook. And the moon square off Venus in Gemini also has a tendency to exaggerate. Maybe we want to talk, we want to relate with each other, but whatever we say right now may be a little bit questionable, maybe some exaggerations within our conversations with each other, especially because the moon is conjoining Saturn of responsibility and Venus. So, also, yes, do not overspend come the weekend. So let's look forward to the next day, the final day, which is Sunday, and that is April the 16th. And now officially the moon is in sweet and sour, tender-hearted Pisces. And on the morning of Sunday, we'll make, well, a bit of a closer conjunction with Saturn. So, as mentioned with Saturday, Sunday, we're feeling like we want to heal. It's a wonderful time for downtime, taking some of those walks, having really good heart to heart conversation. But with Saturn there, Saturn is always about our responsibility. So, yes, this is going to be a bit of a workabout weekend, Saturday and Sunday. On one hand, we're feeling responsible and we are feeling chatty, but on the other hand, we are feeling like we want to go within. We've got this, especially on Sunday, this very spiritual, very going within, soul searching kind of connection on Sunday. So it's very good for downtime, reflection, and catching up on some of those tasks. And a good time for what? What is Pisces about? It's about healing. And if that means healing with going within or meditation or looking to spiritual beliefs and issues, especially since we're going to have a bit of a up and down week. This is the time as the final day of the week to uh, really do some serious thinking, especially that word serious with Saturn there. Yes, and slowly but surely come Monday, late Monday, the moon will then approach a conjunction with Neptune. And yes, on Monday it'll be about healing, but it'll also be about what? Nebulous Neptune and a little bit of deception. But that is for the next weekly celestial report. And also, there is now a sweet trine with Mars. So that only emphasizes and a wide grand trine Sunday morning with Mars, the south node, and the moon. So, wow, Sunday is all about the behind the scenes, kind of taking it easy while you're getting a little bit of that work done and really going within. But because we have Venus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, we still want to open up and really speak our mind. And hey, it doesn't hurt with the Sun Jupiter connection in Aries. We want to put our best foot forward. And hey, Pisces is all about what? It's all about illusion and to some degree appearances and creating illusion, or for that matter, disillusion. Pisces can go either way. And because of this sweet grand trine in water with the moon, on Sunday. This is a time if on Sunday you want to change up your appearance a little bit, especially with this Jupiter Sun connection. It's about really kind of staying close to nature and feeling grounded with the Taurus emphasis, and all about healing and really what? Feeling good about yourself, and charity as well. So, until the next weekly celestial report, many, many blessings.